Welcome back, Love Nation. We will now get into chapter 4 of the Drake versus UMG lawsuit, which was recently filed on January 15th. This is a new lawsuit as he has dropped the previous two lawsuits. And now we will continue again. This is chapter 4. Please like, share, and subscribe. And here we go. Section B. UMG is a music industry giant. In its own words, UMG is the world's leader in music entertainment. UMG is engaged in the business of acquiring, administering, licensing, exploiting, and otherwise monetizing a catalog of copyrights containing musical compositions and sound recordings. UMG controls almost a third of the music people listen to in the developed world and a sizable portion in the developing world. In the music industry, control over a particular single, album, or other collection of works is governed by various contracts, including traditional recording deals, distribution, publishing, and licensing deals. In a traditional recording deal, a record label typically retains exclusive rights to an artist and the artist's recordings, and the right to re-recording the compositions embodied therein for specific periods of time. The label pays in advance for the artist's recordings and royalties and finances the provision of services to the artist in areas such as production, promotions, marketing, and distribution. A distribution deal differs in that it generally allows an artist to retain ownership of his recordings and grants the record label the exclusive rights to sell, license, and distribute the recordings in certain formats, example, digital audio and physical phonograph records, for a specific period of time. With a music publishing administration deal, the artist, as a songwriter, generally retains ownership of his musical composition and pays a percentage of his music publishing revenues to a publisher to administer, promote, exploit, license, and protect use of his song. A 360 deal, also known as a master contract, is the most comprehensive. It encompasses the traditional rights granted in a recording deal, but also provides the record label with control over or a passive income stream from merchandising, touring, endorsements, and other ancillary ventures the artist may undertake. Once Universal Music owns the recording, distribution, and publishing rights to a work, it exploits that ownership through licensing deals with third parties. UMG's licenses its music to hundreds of retailers around the world. These licensing deals allows third parties to legally use a recording, a musical composition, a portion thereof. Universal Music has licensing agreements with all of the major platforms, including but not limited to iTunes, Amazon, Apple Music, Napster, formerly known as Rhapsody, and Spotify, as well as TikTok and Meta, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, and Threads. In the event that a person or entity wants to use a song outside of one of the licensed platforms, for example, to play during a political rally or sporting event, it has to request the rights to do so from Universal Music, which holds the synchronization contract. A third party cannot legally use Universal's music recordings or UMPG's licensed content embodying those recordings in advertising on a live stage, in film or television, or on a radio without the explicit consent of Universal Music. Through its exclusive licensing rights, Universal Music wields incredible power to promote and popularize a song or performer. UMG invests a significant amount of money, time, and effort to advertise, promote, sell, and distribute the music in its own. Universal Music exercised this control in early 2024 when it pulled its songs from publication on TikTok over issues with the platform's use of generative artificial intelligence. Through copyright ownership, Universal Music can control the unlicensed use of its music, but can also strategically waive or reduce the customary fees it charges for the licensing rights to music to provide for the unrestricted use of a song. This tactic is known as whitelisting. It happens when a copyright holder like Universal Music permits a user or platform to use its content without charging fees or imposing other limitations. In the normal course, internet platforms operate automatic content identification systems to block the unauthorized use of copyrighted material by their users. In whitelisting, these automatic systems are turned off. Universal Music says it exists to shape culture through the power of artistry. Because music is unique in its ability to inspire people, that power to shape culture and inspire people is apparent by the numbers. In its 2023 annual report, Universal Music boasts that it has a catalog of more than 220 artists and brands, 3.2 million recordings, and 4.5 million owned and administered titles. At the end of 2023, Universal Music had an ownership interest in 61 of the Billboard's Hot 100 tracks. In quarter one of 2024, Billboard reported that UMG represented 33.9% of the record label market share. On social media platforms alone, music owned by Universal Music was streamed 11 trillion times in 2023. UMG's size dwarfs other music companies, and this size gives it an advantage. UMG has a physical presence in 200 geographic markets, which gives artists signed to UMG a critical edge compared to peers at competing labels, as the company can amplify the local success of an artist from one region to the rest of the world. UMG uses this size and dominance to convince artists to sign with this record label. Because of streaming, it is more of an uphill battle than ever before to capture the audience's attention among a sea of other songs. UMG's market position, combined with the flood of content that hits streaming platforms every day, means that artists depend on UMG to stand out from the crowd. Even established artists depend on UMG to maximize their commercial success through its world-class marketing, proprietary data analysis, global distribution network, and additional monetization opportunities. Artists sign with UMG in sum because a UMG partnership promises to support the artist's music with an experienced team of professionals incentivized to advance one's career. UMG's executives are handsomely compensated for exploiting artists' works. UMG reports that its executive compensation is driven by its transition to perform more based packages. UMG's executives, including those at Interscope, have an annual incentive program through which they are rewarded for meeting and surpassing sales and profit projections, among other metrics. The incentives are largely based on the specific UMG division, rather than the performance of UMG more generally. For example, the annual incentive or bonus of Interscope CEO John Janik is based 90% of the financial success of Interscope and only 10% on the financial success of UMG generally. This division-based incentive structure creates perverse incentives within UMG, and Mr. Janik and other Interscope executives are incentivized to maximize the financial success of the Interscope labels without taking into account the impact on other UMG labels. For example, through the promotion of the recordings and its revitalization impact on Kendrick Lamar's entire recording catalog, including his first 5 studio albums. Interscope and Interscope executives benefit regardless of the effect on other UMG labels, like Republic, which represents Drake. Section C. UMG and Drake have a long partnership. UMG began profiting off of Drake's art in 2009. The parties extended their contract in 2022. After announcing the 2022 contract extension, Sir Grange described Drake as one of the biggest artists of today and expressed that UMG couldn't be more excited about what lies ahead for his relationship with Drake. Through the contract extension, UMG's profit from the exclusive rights to exploit Drake's music. The contract between UMG and Drake is up for renegotiation in 2025. By spring of 2024, UMG understood that the rise of streaming platforms had enhanced the bargaining power of artists. Established artists whose contracts are coming up for renewal are in an improved position to demand higher take rates due to the improvement in the invincibility of cash flows and risk reduction. And as described below on Information and Belief, UMG was incentivized to act, and in fact did act in a manner to reduce that bargaining leverage in advance of upcoming negotiations with Drake over contract renewal. Section D. UMG has licensing and publishing rights over Kendrick Lamar's music. On Information and Belief, from 2012 to 2023, Kendrick Lamar was signed to an exclusive production company agreement with Top Dog Entertainment, which in turn furnished his exclusive recordings services to Aftermath Entertainment Record Imprint, a joint venture of Interscope. The sound recordings copyrights to Kendrick Lamar's first 5 studio albums are owned and controlled by Interscope. In 2023, having fulfilled his recording obligations to Top Dog Entertainment and Aftermath Recordings, Kendrick Lamar signed a new short-term exclusive recording and licensing deal with UMG through Interscope and an exclusive publishing administration agreement with UMG through UMPG. Through these contracts, UMG exclusively controls the release, publication, and licensing of all music products created by Kendrick Lamar during the term of the contract, including the defamatory material. On Information and Belief, Lamar signed a short-term deal with UMG to see if UMG could prove its value to him, to promote him more effectively than any other music company could in a compressed time frame. If successful, Kendrick Lamar would then continue his relationship with UMG through a new, longer-term contract. On Information and Belief, that long-term deal was consummated in December of 2024. On Information and Belief, UMG's contract with Kendrick Lamar provided UMG the right to prevent the publication of and or to insist on modifications to any materials created by Kendrick Lamar, including but not limited to any content which UMG believes to be defamatory. This will conclude Chapter 4. Please stick around for Chapter 5 as we get further into the countersuit which Drake believes centers around what happened with the Kendrick Lamar deal. As we get more into the spicier parts of this suit, please like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Stay tuned for part 5. It will be coming shortly. Thumbs up this video, as well as watching my other videos. I have several other cases that I will be doing read-throughs for. Until next time, be safe and enjoy your day. Bye, guys.